Welcome to the iMPACT review where everybody is spotlighted. Not really. But I can say this about this iMPACT review. That I was interested in the product. I really felt that the product felt more organic to me. Not saying the product was 100% perfect. Usually no product is. Let's be honest here. On any promotion there's always some type of bullshit. But I must say this compared to the WWE where they're going into the next pay-per-view and I really don't have a lot of interest at all in their payback that's going to be shown. Here, going into Slammiversary, I'm actually interested. Let's get into the very beginning of the show. Before they even go to the ring, Kenny King, who I believe, the king of the night, Kenny King, is the one that is the most spotlighted throughout the entire night. That's what I really felt about this entire show. This was all about Kenny King, which we usually don't get almost nothing of him. I felt that he was truly well presented. Now Kaz, who we know is going out the door, was talking on the phone with Daniels. Kaz and Daniels, bad influence. I miss them. Please TNA, bring them back. Please renegotiate their contract and give us back the most entertaining tag team that exists in a long time. But Kaz gets his ass handed to him by a Kenny King. Kenny felt that he was being disrespected. So he decided to do a little bit of some thuggish type of attitude and just knock him down and beat him up. Throughout the night, that's what we got. When they all went to the ring. And I gotta say this about Bobby Lashley. Kenny King sounded alright. MVP sounded alright. But Bobby, let's be honest here. Bobby really needs to act like a Theodore Roosevelt. Talk softly and carry a big stick. Because Bobby is more of a physical guy. He's not good with his character when it comes to talking. He's just not. He's not a talker. He goes by his attitude in the ring. That's where his strength is. So when he spoke, he just felt so soft and so non-heelish. It just wasn't enough for me. Now, when it came to Eric Young coming to the ring and talking about his kid, now, as long as the mic wasn't in his hand, Bobby looked a lot more menacing. He sounded, without sound, more authentic as a heel. So I really hope they don't let Bobby talk too much. But MVP talked for the entire group. And that's why I think this entire segment, all the segments throughout the night were well done. Now you could say, oh my gosh, man, come on. They did promo segments a lot throughout the night. It was terrible. Well, I don't see it in that respect. There was a lot of saturation when it came to the MVP new faction that I still call the triple threat, baby. Triple threat. That's what I call it. I'm not going to call it Evolution Dark. It's stupid. Or whatever anybody else is calling it. I like to call it the triple threat. But I can say this about the triple threat. The way they structured it this time on iMPACT, because it's the first time we get to see them, it was done well. They spoke. They had a fight. They had a little intermission in between. Even a match. Then they spoke again. Then there was a fight. Then intermission throughout the night. Then they spoke again. And that was MVP speaking most of the night. And then we saw some fights throughout the night. I felt that at least this time around, I don't know what's going to happen next week. We could get oversaturated and we get tired of it very quickly. The way it came out was actually quite good for me. Now, I really didn't understand the Dixie angle. I felt Dixie was not in the right place at the right time. I'm sorry, that's just me. When we had the middle of the show, Dixie comes out. EC3 comes out. And it was okay. I did not mind it after the Austin Aries fight. Match then fight. You get my point. I felt that it was not right having her there. It just didn't feel comfortable. Now when Bully Ray came out and butted heads with MVP, that felt very organic. You got two guys. You got a Miami guy dealing with a New York guy who are basically no nonsense. They will talk in your damn face. That did feel very organic. I did enjoy it. Now, I felt that afterward, that is when Dixie and not MVP, I'm getting a lot of stuff mixed up here. That's when Dixie and EC3 actually made sense. MVP and his boys beat the crap out of Bully Ray, and then Dixie and EC3 came out. I felt that would have been a better time for them. Because combining these two heel factions, in a sense, you got Dixie with EC3 and Rockstar Spud in tow at that time. And he wasn't there. He was not there. I felt was not right. Leave them separate, at least for now. And it makes sense. So the ending when Bully Ray goes through a table made perfect sense. And that's when it felt right for me. Now, I want to start with Angelina Love versus Brittany. The segment in the back wasn't that good. I'm sorry. I love me Angelina Love. That woman looks good. I want to suck her boobs. I want to tell her I love her. I want to say, be with me with your beautiful fake blonde hair. I don't care. Be with me. And Gail Kim isn't bad either. Look, let's be honest. She ain't a bad looking woman for 37. But I just felt that that segment in the back wasn't that good. It just didn't feel good. The fight broke out afterward wasn't that bad. But the segment before that just wasn't good. Now, Brittany felt like a bite off of Paige dealing with AJ. Let's be honest, you had to think it. But in the end, it was okay. Because in the end, Paige, well, I'm about to say Paige, Brittany did not win, which I really felt, if it wasn't for the title, if it was just an open challenge, Brittany winning would have been better. Because they made it a match of an open challenge knockouts championship, of course she wasn't going to win. Let's be honest here. She's not going to win that. And Gail Kim coming out is trying to build up going into Slammiversary. We know this. This is going to happen. But I really did feel that putting that stipulation of the belt really hurt Brittany. Of course she could have gotten her ass beaten after the match if she won. And I really believe she should have won. But like I said, because it did have the title on the line, they weren't going to pull a Paige. Because I did think of it. Let's move on to the most weirdest part of the night. Gunner and Samuel Shaw. I can understand the angle they're going by. Because Gunner is a former military officer. He was in the army. Who I understand he was in the army. Him dealing with that could actually be honest. It could have actually happened. No problem with that. But this is what I'm taking from this. They may want to have something for Samuel Shaw to do. So they don't have anybody he can go with right now. They don't. Going with Mr. Anderson was a wise thing to do. It really gave me more interest for Samuel Shaw. It did give me more interest. But where does he go now? Well, let's put him with a Gunner who had gone through war, who had gone to Iraq, and had understood that, well, dealing with the situation there, postpartum, well, no, not postpartum, well, the syndrome that actually happens during war, post-traumatic stress syndrome, I'm sorry, that's it, would actually go into the mold of a Gunner. But my question is this, is Gunner going to be his tag team partner, Samuel Shaw? Will Gunner become the manager of a Samuel Shaw, which actually I would really be promoting. Let Gunner be Samuel Shaw's manager, because eventually the manager can turn into the enemy, and my feeling is that this will be a feud. This is going to be a manager / feud eventually. And I may not be 100% opposed about it. But it is a very weird kind of feeling I'm getting from it. I'm sorry, I'm getting a weird vibe from it. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So, let's see here. It wasn't really packed filled with a lot of matches. When it come to Bram dealing with Magnus and Willow, it still feels like Bram is going to be having a feud with Willow and Magnus. It's a triangle. Here, A triangle, ladies and gentlemen. We got Bram trying to get Magnus to be more evil. Magnus is not enjoying it. He's getting angry. He punches Bram before the match. Bram pretty much says, that's how I want it, brother. I want you to bust my mouth open and be the mean-ass motherfucker you can be. Sorry for the language, but this is what we need. When the match comes down to it as a Falls Count Anywhere match, it wasn't bad. And the thing that gets me, if Magnus is not going to become 100% heel, he's turning to a face. Why does Magnus hit a Willow in the stomach with the tire iron, supposedly? And then when he should be cracking him on the head, he doesn't do it. That's going half-ass on a Magnus, and I don't believe that was the wisest thing to do. It would have been better that either he does it and then regret it afterward, or not do it at all. Having him hit a Willow, and then when he had to hit him to really finish him, didn't do it, really didn't feel right. And then when Magnus lost, did make sense, but then it didn't make sense. Because he should have never hit Willow if there's supposed to be a real fight between these three. Now let's see here. There was no menagerie. I'm not too happy about that because I did enjoy them. But we did have a sighting of the Wolves during the beginning of the show. The Wolves, I'm very glad they were presented because my feeling is this. This is what I feel. If MVP wins the World Championship, give Bobby and Kenny King, baby, the tag belts. Because then everyone has the power. Having the Wolves finally face an opponent that actually makes sense is actually very good. Bobby Lashley is dominating the ring. Kenny King is very charismatic in the ring. And like I said earlier, he was the one that was the most spotlighted here throughout the entire night. Seeing Davey Richards get his ass destroyed by a Bobby Lashley makes me feel they're going to have a fight soon when he comes back. But Eddie Edwards coming to the ring screaming for somebody, you know Kenny King had to come out first. He was the most spotlighted today. And Kenny King was the one who came out on top. So this leading into a Slammiversary is actually a very good thing. Because I am sure if they don't do this, it's very stupid. Having Kenny King and Bobby Lashley versus the Wolves will be the best feud they can have for the belts. I really do. And I hope they are going to do that. So finally, the final match of the night. Am I forgetting anything? MVP versus... Well, don't really have to think about Austin Aries because Austin Aries, who is being very well spotlighted, he's part of the feud. So I don't really need to talk about the match. Like I said, what happened after the match is more important. But Bobby Lashley versus Eric Young, who's also spotlighted in the beginning of the show. He was put over by Bully Ray. He did very well with him. And at the end, Bobby Lashley with Eric Young was actually a good feud. I mean, not feud, actually a good match. Let's be honest. There is no feud between them. But when you really see it, the way I saw it, and it was Kenny King who really DQ'd the entire match. I felt really... I don't know if it was well done in that respect. But it was well done enough that even though I might not be enjoying how Kenny King was DQing a whole bunch of things and fighting a lot, it still gave me enough interest to see the ending of the show. Kenny King beats the hell out of an Eric Young. Then Bobby Lashley destroys both Austin Aries, Eric Young, the Wolves. I enjoyed seeing Bobby in this respect that he doesn't talk. Make him like a Theodore Roosevelt. Speak softly, carry a big stick. Don't let Bobby talk. And this entire faction of the triple threat will get over. Well, how do I think of this show? Honestly, I did enjoy it. It wasn't that bad. I would like a little bit more from the knockouts, of course. This craziness of Samuel Shaw and Gunner I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about it. It feels kind of weird, but it does make sense in a weird way. And I would have liked to see the menagerie. I'm honest. I want to see Rebel. She's cute. But in the end, it wasn't a bad show leading into the Slammiversary. I hope you enjoyed this review. Give me a comment below. Maybe once in a while, give me a thumbs up. I'd like more people to see me. You need to have some thumbs up for people to search you. And you guys have a good night. Peace out.